Rear Admiral Lena Park slammed the blackout switch. The bridge lights dimmed to red emergency glow. Every screen went dark. No response to the Xeraxx broadcast demanding Earth's surrender. Silent running, now, Park barked. Disperse into decoy patterns. Execute Zulu 7. Lieutenant Jun Aoki's fingers flew across his console. Aye, Admiral. Fleet scattering. ECM drones deploying. The Xeraxx armada hung in high orbit like jagged obsidian thorns. Their lead cruiser, Vexor Prime, broadcasted again. Harsh clicks translated to human ears as thunderous roars. Surrender or burn. Park ignored it. Her fleet's 60 outdated frigates and corvettes, outgunned 10 to 1, split into ghost formations, thermal baffles activated, radar signatures mimicked debris fields. On her tactical overlay, faint pings marked Xeraxx targeting locks. They scanned for Earth's vaunted defense grid, found nothing but silence. Launch drone swarms, Park ordered. Charlie swarms only.
Bait their volley.
Aoki nodded. Swarm Alpha away. 5,000 units, cheap and expendable. Drones burst from launch tubes. Simple sensor pods with thrusters, they fanned out in erratic patterns, mimicking ship maneuvers. Xeraxx sensors lit up. Locks shifted. Vrax's voice boomed through intercepted comms. Primitives hide. Fire probes. Flush 'em. Xeraxx lances streaked out. Plasma bolts vaporized drone clusters. Park watched the replay. Patterns emerged. Xeraxx targeting prioritized mass and heat, predictable like clockwork predators. Map it, Park said. Overlay on my board. Aoki patched it live. Red lines traced Xeraxx fire lanes, gaps yawned wide, blind spots in their shield cycles, kinetic rods, all ships, Park commanded. Fire through drone lanes, massed salvo, time to their refresh. Railguns hummed. Fleets, hidden in decoy blooms, unleashed tungsten rods. Projectiles screamed silent through vacuum, threading drone debris. Xeraxx shields flared. Blue hemispheres flickered as rods hammered home. Cycle stuttered. Vexor Prime's forward array dipped low.
They're cycling unevenly, Aoki reported. Calm voice, no awe.
Just data. Lead cruiser's ventral shield at 40%. Park's lips tightened.
Restraint held her fleet back. No wasteful charges.
Forced the enemy to expose. Xeraxx retaliated. Their battle line advanced, broadsides glowing, but humans stayed dispersed, ghosts in the black. Cut broadcast net, Park said. Switch to timecodes. Pre-planned sync. Aoki hit the key. Fleet-wide chatter vanished. No more laser comms. Ships ticked to atomic clocks. Silent handshakes via maneuver alone. Xeraxx sensors screamed confusion. Primitives vanish. Where are their signals? Warlord Kinvrax roared from Vexor Prime's bridge feed. Intercepted, unscrambled, his chitinous form loomed, mandibles clacking. They break. Panic spreads. Probes full spread. Park saw the trap form. Xeraxx probes flooded the lanes, hunting ghosts. Vexor Prime pushed ahead, engines flaring to lead the crush. Her fleet waited. Seconds ticked. Now, Park whispered. Crossfire pocket. All guns on Vexor Prime. Hidden squadrons converged. Frigates from port and starboard decloaked in unison. Railguns and missiles, husbanded for this, pummeled the cruiser. Rods punched engines. Missiles burrowed past cycling shields. Vexor Prime listed plasma venting from aft nacelles. Explosions bloomed. Xeraxx escorts wheeled to cover, but too late. Human ships danced away, reforming decoys.
Aoki's board pinged. Engines crippled.
Vexor Prime dead in space. They're signaling retreat on that flank. Park leaned forward. Xeraxx held formation, but cracks showed. Vrax's fleet hesitated, expecting collapse. Not this surgical bite. Regroup to Bravo positions, she ordered. Prep second swarm. Below, on Earth's surface, Colonel Reed's ground nets reported ready. Dr. Qureshi's orbital defenses hummed in silence. Vrax wouldn't break yet. But Earth denied him the panic he craved. The real war ignited. Park's console chimed. Incoming Xeraxx tight beam, direct to her flagship. Admiral, Aoki said. Vrax demands parley. Says humans fight like cowards in the void. Park's eyes narrowed. She keyed the mic. No visuals. Voice only. Warlord Kin. Your lead ship drifts. Surrender it, or we take the rest. Silence stretched. Then Vrax translated growl. You hide and sting. True warriors charge. We choose our ground, Park replied. Yours ends here, the line cut. Xeraxx engines flared across the armada. They pressed in, escalating as predicted. Park smiled faintly. Let them come. Her fleet ghosts waited. Lieutenant Aoki glanced up. Surface teams report Xeraxx dropships inbound. Reed's holding fire. Good, Park said. Quraishi's traps are set. We bleed them from orbit first. Xeraxx cruisers lumbered forward. Their shields cycled predictably. Park's drones had mapped every flaw. Third swarm, she ordered. Bait ventral lanes. Drones swarmed again. Xeraxx fired hungrily. Rods followed, precise. Another cruiser buckled. Vrax's formation fractured. From Vexor Prime's bridge, Xeraxx observers gaped at human coordination. No orders barked. Ships moved as one organism. Unnatural. They predict us, his tactical officer chittered. Swarm bait. Silent codes. They turn our strength. Silence! Vrax bellowed. Full assault. Burn their worlds. But Park's fleet slipped away. Decoys bloomed. Crossfires snapped shut. Hours ground on. Xeraxx lost 3 cruisers. Humans none. Park rubbed her neck. Colonel Reed's boots slammed the accelerator. His command Humvee surged down the empty highway, brigade convoys fanning out behind. Xeraxx dropships screamed overhead, unchallenged. He keyed the radio. All units, abandon perimeter. Fall back to logistics belt. Give them the city. Troops peeled away from crumbling skyscrapers. No shots fired. Reed gripped the wheel tighter. The enemy expected a frantic defense. He handed them a gift instead, a sprawling urban maze, ripe for landing. Sergeant Hale rode shotgun. They're touching down, sir. Beachhead forming 5 clicks east. Good. Reed nodded at the tablet map. Warehouses, rail yards, truck depots. His hardened belt? Qureishi's people rigged the overpasses? Affirmative. Smart mine's hot. Kill lanes primed. Reed veered onto an exit ramp. Civilian excavators growled ahead, commandeered from a quarry site. Dr. Qureishi's voice crackled over the net. Colonel, drones confirm Xeraxx armor rolling out. Heavy tracks. They're funneling onto highways. Perfect. Reed braked beside a yellow bulldozer. Operator waved from the cab. Dig those trenches. 50 meters deep. Cross the lanes. Now. Bullets whined from the sky. Xeraxx gunships strafed the earth. Reed ducked as dirt erupted nearby. The dozer blade bit concrete. Shovels of asphalt flew. His troops hauled rebar grids into the cuts, wiring demo charges. No panic. Methodical. Enemy vanguard at Overpass 1, Hale reported. Reed climbed a ridge for visual. Xeraxx tanks lumbered into view, hulking behemoths, plasma cannons swiveling. They charged the open highway, expecting broken humans. He tapped his wrist calm. Drone scouts launch. Tag and ping. Swarms of quadcopters buzzed low, evading fire. Tiny lasers painted targets. Data streamed to hidden artillery nests. Farm silos retrofitted with railguns. Sewer tunnels packed with tube launchers. Fire mission, Reed ordered. Priority armor. Whumps echoed from concealed positions. Shells arced silent. Overpass detonated. Smart mines. Chain reacted. Highway buckled. Xeraxx tanks piled into the choke point, turrets fusing in plasma backwash, kill lanes narrowed to meat grinders, wreckage blocked retreat. Xeraxx warriors boiled out, chitin armor gleaming. They advanced on foot, blades humming. Reed's infantry waited in drainage ditches, rifles steady. Suppress and shift, he called. Snipers cracked first. Drones relayed hits. Artillery walked fire ahead, precise. No waste. Xeraxx lines shredded. From the dropship beachhead, Warlord Kinvrax, forward observer chittered into a comm. They flee! City ours. Armor, advance. Static hissed back from the command post. Silence, then screams. Reed crouched behind a flipped semi-trailer. His ambush team, 50 volunteers, silenced rifles, crept through culverts. Qureishi's ECM jammed Xeraxx sensors. No warnings. Comms tent dead ahead, whispered Lieutenant Hale. Coder inside, Reed signaled. Grenades rolled silent. Gas bloomed. Marines rushed. Xeraxx guards thrashed, claws slashing air, boots stomped necks. One human took a blade to the arm. Grunted, zip-tied the attacker. Inside the tent, the comms coder hunched over consoles. Tall, spindly mandibles, clicking code bursts. Reed's team dragged it out, alive. Bound. Hooded. "Secure," Reed barked. "Exfil now." They melted into the logistics belt. Gunships hunted blind. Artillery feathered the beachhead. Dropships lifted in panic, shedding troops. Back at the command post, a repurposed distribution center, Reed shoved the coder into a chair. Qureshi scanned it with a handheld. Neural implants intact. "We crack this, we own their net." The creature rattled mandibles. Translator word. "You skulk." "Cowards? Vrax crushes?" Reed leaned in. "Tell Vrax his beachhead's a graveyard, or we dissect you slow." It chittered defiance, but eyes darted. "Fear, hailburst N." "Sir, orbital relay intercepted. Vrax raging. Humans vanish like smoke. No charge, no glory. He's committing reserves, full ground assault." Reed stood. "Perfect." The coder's codes to Park's fleet. Let her ghosts in. Park's voice cut through immediately. "Reed, you magnificent bastard."
Codes inbound.
"We hijack their dropships next." He allowed a grim smile. Xeraxx expected monsters charging blind. They got surgeons carving precise. Outside, engines rumbled. Brigade reformed. Trenches deepened. Mines reset. The logistics belt hummed. Trucks unloading ammo from civilian semis. Welders fusing rail spikes into caltrops. Xeraxx reserves plunged down the rigged highways. Overpasses waited. Reed keyed the all-call. "Hold fire till my mark." We own the roads, they walk into hell. First tanks hit the traps. Explosions lit the dusk. Screams echoed. Human drones danced overhead, tagging more. Vrax's coder cracked under questions. Burst transmissions leaked. Enemy flanks exposed. Supply lines plotted. Reed watched the feed. Xeraxx warriors faltered, cohesion cracking. They bellowed challenges, charging open fields. His artillery answered. "No heroics, just math." Terrain. Timing. Hours bled into night. Beachhead burned. Reserves stalled. Xeraxx called for orbital fire. Desperate. But Park's fleet danced above, silent. Qureshi's ground relays spoofed the strikes onto empty lots. Dawn broke. Reed's Humvee rolled forward. Captured coder in tow. Brigade intact. Enemy gutted. A Xeraxx survivor broadcast surrender frequencies, broken, pleading. Reed ignored it. "Press on." Vrax waded deeper in. His radio pinged. Aoki's voice, calm from orbit. "Colonel, enemy flagship signals. They want terms." Reed glanced at the bound coder. Its mandibles trembled.
"Not yet," he said. "We take their warlord next."
Dr. Sanar Qureshi slammed the enter key. Alarms blared across her makeshift bunker console as segmented microgrids snapped online. Power surged through isolated city blocks. Hospitals lit up, factories hummed, railgun nests stayed armed. Xeraxx EMP pulses hammered the main grid above. It fried, but no blackout followed. Qureshi watched the feeds. Enemy probes lit up in frustration, mandibles clicking over jammed channels. "Doctor, their strike corvettes are vectoring in." Lieutenant Aoki's voice crackled from orbit. "They're hunting the central node." "We spoofed it to Chicago, but they're adapting." Qureshi keyed her mic. "Buy me 10 minutes, Lieutenant. Microgrids hold. No single kill switch." She pulled up the captured Xeraxx coder's data dump. Mandible patterns decoded into comms protocols. Her fingers flew, patching the alien code into Earth's spoofing suite. False telemetry bloomed, ghost landing zones in the Rockies, phantom troop movements across the plains. Xeraxx dropships veered off course, plunging toward empty Badlands. A red alert flashed. Factory overrides locked. Civilian printers and hospitals stalled mid-print, rerouted to spit out railgun coils and drone fuselages. Qureshi overrode Union safeties. "Redirect complete," she muttered. Trucks rolled out from underground lots, parts bound for Reed's front lines. Park's fleet relays confirmed receipt. Space jammers synced to ground bursts. Warlord Kin Vrax's voice boomed through intercepted bursts. Guttural Xeraxx snarls translated on the fly. "Locate the human core. Burn it." They falter without it. His corvettes dove lower, scanners sweeping for the command nexus. Qureshi smiled grimly. She turned the planet into one. Every substation, every router, every civilian phone tower, linked in a distributed web, no heart to rip out. She fired the hardened update package. Park's flagship acknowledged first. "Sync lock, Doctor." "Strike window in 5. Reed's ground net pinged next. Parts inbound, trenches reloaded. Holding for your mark. Qureshi leaned into her console. Xeraxx recon drone swarmed the skyline, hunting the blackout source. She triggered the decoy. City-wide lights winked out. Skyscrapers plunged into shadow. Highways went dark. Enemy signatures clustered, drawn like moths. Now, she whispered. Electronic ambush ignited. Spoofed relays pulsed false pings from the heart of the blackout zone. Xeraxx drones dove in, weapons hot. Human counterhacks sliced through their firewalls. Captured code turned against them. Telemetry feeds jammed with loops of empty streets. Railgun nests powered by microgrids lit up. Slugs ripped drones from the sky. Shrapnel rained on empty lots. Vrax's fleet snarled over open channels. Deception! The humans weave lies into their very air. His corvettes banked hard, firing blind. Orbital strikes hammered decoy grids. Qureshi's web rerouted power in seconds. Real grids untouched. She patched a burst to Aoki. Recon gutted, flanks open for Park. Explosions rocked the bunker door. Qureshi didn't flinch. She watched Reed's feed. Infantry advanced under drone cover. Railguns barking fresh parts. Xeraxx lines buckled, warriors bellowing in rage at the unbroken human fire. No panic, no collapse. Just adaptation. Aoki's voice cut in again. Enemy flagship breaking orbit pattern, Doctor. Vraxx demands parley through you. Qureshi's eyes narrowed at the incoming signal. Vrax's icon pulsed, mandibles wide in holographic fury. He expected a single throat to crush. She keyed the all-channel relay, bouncing it through the planetary web. Tell him the command center says no, fresh alerts screamed. Xeraxx reserves massed for a hammer blow. Total descent. Qureshi pulled up the sync clocks. Park's fleet danced into position. Reed's brigades coiled. Her web hummed, ready to weave the trap tighter. Vrax's transmission spiked. You hide in shadows, human witch. I will glass your world node by node. She triggered the next layer. Ghost fleets appeared on his scopes, spoofed signatures from every ocean, every mountain, his armada scattered, chasing phantoms. Qureshi exhaled. The planet breathed with her. But Vraxx adapted too. A brute force hack clawed at the web's edge. Brute Xeraxx processors overwhelming segments. Lights flickered in outlying grids. Qureshi slammed firewalls, segmenting harder. Sweat beaded her brow. Aoki, Reed, window narrowing. Hit them now. Park's voice joined the net, steel calm, fleets engaging, ground strike synced. Reed grunted over the line. Pushing, no heroics. Qureshi watched the battle space bloom. Space lasers carved Xeraxx flanks. Ground railgun shredded dropships mid-descent. Vrax's reserves slammed into the spoofed zones, traps waiting. Overpasses collapsed under timed charges. Mines bloomed. Human drones swarmed, precise as surgeons. A Xeraxx corvette broke through, EMP cannon charging dead on her sector. Qureshi's microgrids isolated it, power dipped, then rebounded. She fired a drone counterstrike. The corvette tumbled, trailing fire. Vrax's roar echoed fleet-wide. Impossible. They fight as one mind. Qureshi patched the final sync. Every human asset locked. Space, ground, systems. The ambush closed. Dawn feeds showed the beachhead in flames. Xeraxx warriors faltered, their vaunted charges met with math and restraint. Vrax's flagship loomed, demanding terms again. Qureshi keyed her console. One finger hovered. The web waited. Not yet, she said. We take their warlord next. Present your fleet, human. Warlord Kin Vrax's hologram snarled across every channel. Surrender now or I glass your hives from orbit. Rear Admiral Lena Park gripped her command chair. The bridge hummed with tension. Xeraxx battleships loomed on the main holoscreen, their terror lances charging. Vrax's flagship dominated the display, a brute wedge of armor pulsing with energy. Lati Aoki, Park said. Status on their shields? Aoki's fingers flew over his console. Recycling in 90 seconds, Admiral. Terror strikes targeted on civilian grids. Park nodded. No panic. Not yet. Initiate feint protocol. Stage those evacuations. Draw them low. Aoki tapped the order. Across the net, Reed's ground teams triggered flares. Fake civilian shuttles lifting from ports, broadcasting distress. Qureshi's drones amplified the signals, spoofing mass exodus, Xeraxx laughed, a guttural bark. See? They flee like vermin. Pursue! Burn the runners! Xeraxx battleships dove. Engines flared as they chased the phantoms into low orbit. Park watched the hollows. Perfect. Debris fields from earlier kills waited twisted hulks of their own ships. Now Park ordered. All ships, slingshot Vector Delta 7. Her fleet ignited. Destroyers and cruisers surged as one. They whipped through the debris clouds using wreckage for cover. Sensors painted false trails. Xeraxx pursuers plunged blind, shields dipping in the clutter. Aoki's voice cut sharp. Enemy in trap zone. Shields at minimum. Missile salvo primed, multi-layer, time for recycle peak. Park leaned forward. Fire on my mark. Layer 1 drones, Layer 2 kinetics, Layer 3 plasma lances. Xeraxx point defense lit up. They shredded decoys, but the real salvo ghosted through, timing perfect. As Xeraxx's lead ships recycled shields, mandatory after debris passes, missiles struck. Explosions bloomed. A battleship's flank vaporized, another yawed venting plasma. Park's fleet carved past, lasers raking exposed hulls. Xeraxx hologram flickered rage. Primitives! You dare? His voice boomed fleet-wide, a brutal broadcast meant to shatter morale. Witness your end. My Storm Reaver commits. All warriors to glory. The flagship lunged. Storm Reaver barreled through the fray, command links broadcasting orders in the clear. Park's eyes narrowed. There, exposed frequencies. Qureshi, she keyed the net. You have their link. Spoof it, static hissed. Then Qureshi's voice calm amid chaos. Link hijacked. Feeding false vectors, their reserves routing to ghosts. On the hollows, Xeraxx corvettes veered wild, straight into Reed's ground traps. Railguns thundered from hidden bunkers. Dropships met swarms of human drones, shredded mid-drop. Aoki glanced up. Storm Reaver closing admiral, point defense saturated. Park smiled thin. That broadcast? It's our beacon. Lock all fire on Xeraxx emissions signature. Make a spectacle our bullseye. Gun swiveled. Missiles curved. Storm Reaver's shields flared under the barrage. Xeraxx roared over open comms. What sorcery? They predict my every thrust. Not sorcery, coordination. Park's fleet danced around the beast, hitting joints, vents, weak seams. Restraint won here. No wasteful charges. Just math and timing. A corvette broke through the debris, guns hot on Park's destroyer. Alarms wailed. Aoki countered. ECM burst, then counter missiles. The corvette crumpled. Reed, Park called. Ground status? Colonel Reed's grunt crackled back, beachhead collapsing. Their charges hit our kill boxes. No heroics, just bodies piling. Park pictured it, infantry holding lines with logistics traps, overpasses dropped on advances, mines synced to drone overwatch, terrain as weapon. Xeraxx hologram warped. Storm Reaver listed, hull breaches glowing. Impossible you fight as hive mind. Yield or die screaming. Park ignored him. Aoki, final salvo. Sync with Qureshi's grid pulse. Aoki nodded.
Missiles leaped.
Qureshi's spoof peaked, Xeraxx sensors flooded with ghosts. Storm Reaver's command deck erupted in false alerts. Real warheads punched through. The flagship shuddered. Secondary blast chained. Xeraxx's image died in static. Cheers erupted on the bridge. Park silenced them with a raised hand. Holo showed Xeraxx remnants scattering, armada fractured, but Xeraxx adapted fast. A new signal pierced the net, brute force hack clawing at edges. Lights flickered on auxiliary boards. Qureshi? Park pressed. Containment holding, the engineer replied, but he's desperate. Flagship's core spiking. One push left in him. Park studied the plot. Storm Reaver stabilized, engines coughing. Xeraxx rallied reserves for a ram. Reed, prep your heavies. Aoki, vector us for Slingshot 2. We end this on our terms. Aoki plotted it. Debris field reloaded.
They'll follow.
No monsters here. Just disciplined fire. The fleet burned toward the kill. Xeraxx's voice returned, ragged. You will break one final strike. Park cut the channel. Target locked. Fire. Explosions lit the void, but as Storm Reaver buckled, a shuttle ejected. Xeraxx fleeing?
No. Counter-strike inbound.
Park tensed. The real fight twisted. Park slammed the go order. Single code, Orion's Fall. Execute now. Aoki's fingers flew across the console. The fleet's signature pulsed, a spoofed formation turn that yanked the Storm Reaver into a predictable arc. Xeraxx escorts mimicked the bait, thrusters flaring blue. Park watched the holoplot tighten. Xeraxx flagship dove ventral side first, exposing its weak arc to the debris field. "Reed, your window," Park said into the comm. Colonel Reed's voice crackled back, steady as granite. "Demolition's hot. Firing kill plan." On the ground feed, Reed crouched in a mud-slicked trench. His gloved hand triggered the sequence. Charges bloomed along the invasion corridor. Prefab bridges vaporized. Ravines collapsed under precisely calculated slides. Xeraxx drop pods slammed into rubble walls. Stranded warriors thrashed, their hive links severed by jammed signals. Reed's squads advanced in fire teams, lasers picking off stragglers without waste. "Qureshi spoof peak on my mark," Park ordered. Qureshi's face filled a subscreen, sweat beating under her helmet light. Grid pulsing, mirrored returns live. She slammed the override. Civilian power nets flipped military. Every warehouse drone, every traffic sensor mirrored Xeraxx signatures. Escorts lit up with ghosts, duplicate fleets swarming from every vector. Xeraxx gunners panicked, plasma lancing decoys. Friendly fire shredded their own flanks. One cruiser buckled, venting atmosphere in a silent scream. Park's lips thinned. "Aoki, penetrators away. Ventral arc, full spread." Lieutenant Aoki punched it. Kinetics streaked silent. Rail-fired slugs, unpowered and undetectable until impact. They drilled the Storm Reaver's belly, punching through armor like hot knives. Reactor shielding cracked. Cascades lit the hull orange. Xeraxx brute hack faltered. Bridge lights died across the Xeraxx net. The holoplot showed it. One synchronized minute. Orbit burned with debris.
"Ground bridges fell into chasms. Xeraxx options evaporated."
Xerax's voice roared through the static. "Hive endures, you primitive fracture," Park cut him. "Reed, terms to the survivors." Reed wiped blood from his cheek, eyeing the pinned Xeraxx phalanx. Their warriors huddled, mandibles clicking in disarray, no hive cohesion without the flagship's pulse. He keyed the open channel. "Warlord Xeraxx's forces, surrender now. Weapons down, limbs crossed, we take prisoners." No executions. A Xeraxx sergeant twitched forward, plasma rifle humming. Reed's sniper dropped it, and him, with a single shot. The rest complied, chitin clacking in submission. Reed's team zip-tied them efficient, loading onto hover trucks before reinforcements could scramble. Back on Storm Reaver's feed, secondary blasts chained. The flagship listed, reactors critical, shuttles ejected, Xeraxx among them. Park zoomed the plot. No. Counter-drones swarmed from the Hulk, brute-coded to kamikaze. "Evade pattern Delta," she snapped. Aoki rolled the carrier. Drones splashed against point defense grids. Qureshi's spoof held. Escorts fired wild, coring their own stragglers. Park exhaled. Fleet integrity held at 87%. Ground gains locked. Xeraxx Armada fractured into route vectors. Then Xerax's shuttle pierced the net. It rammed straight for her bridge. "Point defense, priority," Park barked. Guns chattered. The shuttle shredded mid-void, but a pod ejected, Xeraxx jetpacking through the kill zone. His psionic wail hit the comms. "I see you now, soft skins. Coordinated. Restrained. Unnatural." Aoki tracked it. "Lock acquired." "Firing," Park said. The beam lanced clean. Xeraxx tumbled lifeless into the black. Silence gripped the bridge. Aoki slumped back. Crew exchanged glances. No cheers this time. Just nods. Park studied the plot. Xeraxx remnants fled, system edge, hive mind unraveling without their warlord. Reed's prisoners filled holding camps. Qureshi's grids powered down to standby. "Status?" she asked. "Orbit secured," Aoki reported. "Ground locked," Reed confirmed. "Systems green," Qureshi added. Park allowed a tight smile. They had won on human terms. No frenzy. No monsters. Just the machine of coordination. But the plot pinged. Deep space sensors lit. Xeraxx reinforcements, hive summoned, inbound at flank speed. Park straightened. "Prep resupply. We hold the line." The real war accelerated.